It's the Bennington Show on a Wednesday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I am Ron Bennington. It's a whole new world. History took place last night. And if you are a Trump backer, you're more than welcome to call and gloat and celebrate and enjoy your future. It's 844 Rock God. 844 Rock God. An amazing, historic night like we've never seen before took place last night. Donald Trump beat the odds, beat the Democratic Party, beat the Republican Party, did it all on his own with his backers, and America has spoken, and it is a brand new way to look at the world. The world is trying to react to this right now, and it is an amazing time that we live in. We're going to build a wall. We're going to crush ISIS. We're going to rebuild the infrastructure of this country. And as far as I'm concerned, the guy deserves the shot to do everything that he wants to do. And we got to see how it works out. America has spoken. They came out in droves. They beat the pollsters. They beat everybody and all the experts who explained to us the history of American politics and the effects of American politics did not realize that they were living in an historical moment and everything has changed. This is a victory for people who claim that they're done with PC culture. This is a victory for people who believe that things can be decided and acted upon fast, that things are not that complicated, that you can react quickly and fix problems. This is a victory for people who believe that common sense is the way to go quickly and to turn the country around. And I absolutely 100% think, and I know to people who didn't see this thing coming, are going to feel very different than me, but I absolutely think that America has decided to give this guy the ball, and we got to let him run with it. Let's see what happens once this thing starts to turn around, because obviously the experts have no idea what they were talking about. I live in a bubble in New York City, and there's a great, there's a couple of great pieces that went up last night. One was our own Chris Stanley in the middle of it all. If you didn't follow him on Periscope last night, you're insane, because he was hilarious, and he was in the middle of the party, and he ended up on Fox News in the middle of the night. And then there's another piece that went up. I think the Interrobang shot it, and it was Times Square in complete silence as the people were watching the news. And just hit it for a second so we could hear the silence. You have never seen. I mean, this looks like one of those mannequin videos that is going around.
The cars are just completely stopped. Everyone's looking up. It looks...
And you see an amazingly red map. Nobody... First of all, most of the people thought that Florida would go Hillary's way. No one believed that Pennsylvania and even Virginia were in play for a while. Some people brought up Michigan, but it was much bigger. This is, when Trump said that this was a movement, he was 100% correct. Personally, I think this has to do more with the culture wars than anything else. I'll tell you something else that we're always surprised about here in New York City. When some fucking comic book movie opens up that none of us have seen or heard about, and it makes 150 million, and we're going, is it any good? And people are like, hey, you just turn your brain off, and it's really, entertaining. I honestly think this is the same effect that is happening today. And I absolutely believe, and I'm totally sincere about this, you got to let this guy try his thing. The people voted for this. This is America today. So I guess we're going to build a giant wall, and we're going to stop the Muslim, whatever these things are. This is what I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't pay attention to all the things Trump said. I didn't think he thought about them too much. But it resonated with people. And you got to let them rock. You got to let them roll. Gail, I know for you, on the woman thing, not an easy night.
No, it was pretty brutal, but so it goes. It shouldn't be a shock. And yet it feels like it is. It feels like a shock. Well, I guess what really is a shock is, look, the Democratic Party has been defeated before. This has happened. This is something that happens. One way, a couple years we swing this way, 8 years goes by, we swing the other. But what was really strange is that he defeated both the Democratic and Republican Party together because they did not want this.
Well, here's what was the funnest thing last night. I ended up watching a lot of Fox News, and only one guy was really overly excited. What's going on with your sound?
I said to fix the mic. It was not calibrated correctly.
Okay. Only one guy was excited and happy and gloating on Fox News. They were stunned last night. And that was Sean Hannity. And he wasn't at work. Sean did not show up and was part of the show. He was calling from his house because I don't think even he thought this was going to go down the way that it did. Sean Hannity gets, a huge pop for being on this thing from Jump Street. I can't think of another major media person. I mean, a person with a steady job on TV who picked Trump from Jump Street. Ann Coulter, of course, but she doesn't have the problem of keeping a television audience every single night. She can be more of an outlier.
But she definitely called it from the beginning. Are you cool with my mic?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, cool.
Let's jump into the phones a little bit. Here is Pete. Pete, what's up?
Steve.
What's that?
My name is Steve. I'm calling from Florida.
Steve from Florida. What's up?
Yeah. I just want to gloat a little bit. I mean, when Trump first started running, I thought maybe he was a plant to get Hillary elected. With the fiasco of the whole Republican thing, I thought, there had been some shady backroom deals made, maybe to ensure her election. So the more I listened to everything, the more I watched the Republican flank, and the more I listened to Hillary and just all the stuff that came out about her, there was no way in good conscience I could vote for Hillary. Everybody I talked to at work, nobody's voting for Hillary. I talked to people at church, nobody's voting for Hillary. So it's just amazing to me how the pundits and the pollsters and the media got it so wrong for so long, and this just swept in like a whirlwind. So you said, if you want to call in and gloat, call in. That's why I'm calling.
It's your day, buddy. Congratulations to you and the guys at work and the folks at church. 844-ROCK-GOD. 844-ROCK-GOD. He is completely right when he said everybody got it wrong. Most of the people that have been in charge of the Republican Party for years are basically out. The Republican Party, as we know it, will change to reflect Donald Trump, which means it's actually going to become more liberal in certain ways. I'm only guessing that. I have no real idea. I just know the kind of guy he was before he started running. So that part of it is going to be an interesting watch.
Right. And we certainly remember the guy who years ago said, if I were to run for president, I would run as a Republican because I find them to be the dumbest voters, the voters that I could control. That? Yeah. Oh, this was years ago. You can find it. He said that this would be the controllable majority, and he thinks that he would do well.
Well, they backed them in spades, not the the evangelicals and all that type of stuff. We had been talking for a long time. When we ever travel, you get outside of any city and you see a lot of Trump signs.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in between cities who have felt ignored and invisible, and Donald Trump said, I'm going to be here for you. Now, a lot of that means rebuilding the country. I certainly think the infrastructure of this country needs to be rebuilt, and I'm totally excited to see what his plans are and how he wants to pull this off and how we're going to pay for it, because I absolutely think it has to take place. Jason, Rochester.
How's it going, buddies? It feels like we're living in a textbook.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Oh, I was shocked last night when Trump won Ohio. I instantly got off my Madden game and went downstairs and started watching until 4 a.m.
So you got off the Madden game. What team were you playing?
I'm a Vikings fan, sad enough, just like Joey Jojo.
It's the only way to get the Vikings to ever win a Super Bowl. I know exactly how you feel when you play Madden.
10 years and running with Teddy Bridgewater.
What do you think, how's Trump going to pull off some of the big ideas that he has?
Well, I think if he wants to rebuild his infrastructure, like he's saying, he wants to bring new industry to this country. We saw marijuana get passed in many states, and now it's time to legalize hemp. We need hemp in this country. We have diverse climates that can grow it. It's environmentally sound. We need new green technology. We need a new green industry to bring the economy back.
All right, so there you go.
We can ship it. We can trade it.
All right, this is good news for hemp.
All right.
Emmett, Canada.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey.
I just wanted to say, I couldn't really believe what was happening last night, and I wish you guys down south the best.
Hey, we wish you the best, buddy. Make sure you don't start your shit with us over the next. Just give us a little while. This is a fresh drug for us.
Hey, Ronnie, you need a place to stay up here. I got you. Don't worry about it, bud.
Well, it's going to be, from an international point of view, I am totally looking forward to see how this thing, works out. It's going to be fucking fascinating to see how the rest of the world deals with us. But I will tell you this, they will, because you have to. So how this works, and, some people are going to think I'm joking when I say this, but I wish Trump the best of luck. This is the plan we have right now. You know what I mean? This is the plan we have, and I certainly want the plan to work. Chris Stanley, you were in the middle, and because it's New York City, it was an amazingly small crowd where you were at Fox News, enough that you could get on TV. I think of Barack Obama 8 years ago celebrating in Chicago, and it looked like Woodstock. People came from everywhere. But Trump lives behind enemy lines in a way for himself in terms of politically. Not only did he not win New York City, he didn't even win his own neighborhood. He didn't win the people who know him. So his party last night was not televised. You know what I mean? I'm sure people in, parts of Oklahoma and the middle of Pennsylvania and upper Michigan were celebrating and, shooting off firecrackers or whatever. But in his home base, even when he went up to speak last night, it wasn't a great Trump rally. It was so anticlimactic.
It was really weird because I went to the Hilton. I also went to the Trump Tower, and the biggest gathering people were outside Fox News. Outside the Hilton, there were more people watching the crazy Trump supporters, people just going nuts, than there were actually Trump supporters.
But I passed a bunch of young hipsters of, I'll just say, a light brown color, dumped Trump in the streets today. A couple hundred people just wandering around with signs, and I'm like, you're a little late. You know what I mean? We already fucking launched the rocket.
He got it.
But the crowd that you were in last night, I don't think it was more than 500 people, was it?
Oh, no way. No way there was more than 500 people there. It filled up that little square, barely.
It's a very, we work right next to them. So Chris was out in the streets and you were wearing your Trump gear and you were hilarious. Is this up on the iBang or is it on our Twitter?
I believe it's on our Twitter.
Okay.
And it's on our Twitter. And this is, they caught me outside of,
all right, go ahead and play it.
Are you surprised at all? Are you shocked? Or did you know that he was going to win?
This is what should have happened. This is what we deserve. This is what America deserves. That chanting.
First of all, let me just tell you something. That fucking charming smile of yours, that devilishly charming smile, I will never tire of. So Chris Stanley is part of it, and he announced that this is the America we deserve.
I'm a deplorable, Rod.
Yeah.
This is the title of the video. Trump deplorable shed tears, rejoice in streets of NYC. I was doing neither.
I believe that you were. I believe that you were doing both.
After he did the interview with me, I was like, there's no way that's making that. I also said another part that they didn't put in, we were cucked out.
Well, first of all, was it Trump cuck? That you're a Trump cuck?
Trump cuck, cuck the vote.
I love the idea of being a Trump cuck for you. I don't want you to drop this.
Americuck.
Oh, Americuck is happening.
Oh, fucking Americuck, everyone.
Here's Charlie in Delaware. Charlie.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I voted yesterday in Delaware and had business in Florida, so I drove down I-95. Didn't listen to any news. I'm a Trump supporter, by the way. Pretty well sure we were going to lose, so I checked into Daytona, turned on the TV, and was shocked. But I am thinking back, being from Delaware, wondering if Biden kicked his ass for not running.
I was debating a couple of friends on this last night when they were saying that he ran against the one Democrat that he could beat. I disagree. I think Joe Biden would have lost last night. I also think Bernie Sanders would have lost last night. There's no way to prove it. But I'll also say this. You driving into Daytona is perfect because I kind of consider Volusia County ground zero for this feeling. And I live down there. But this thing that took place is a type of American who I think has felt invisible for a lot of years. There's a lot of people living on the edge for a long time, and they don't see in America getting better. They are pissed at the government, and they want it to knee the government in the balls, and that knee is Donald Trump. I really do think this is the American people who have been pissed and conspiracy-minded, and they've been, PC'd and gay marriaged, and, there's been a lot of victories for the liberals for a while, and these people have felt beaten and beaten and beaten, and they said, Donald Trump, you're our hammer, and they used it. And I think Chris Stanley might have been joking when he said it, but this is exactly the America that we deserve.
By the way, before a million people call in, Carla Finch tweeted to me that the quote that I had read was faked. It was false, that was not a direct quote from Donald Trump.
I had never heard it before.
So, yes. And congratulations, Carla Finch, to you on your victory. And all the women like you, congratulations to you on your decision.
I know that you're a little upset today, but I've been through a lot of elections, a lot of presidents. I lived through Nixon. I lived through Carter. You could go down to when things seemed like they were at their worst, and America does make it to the next election. And you do have to say, the vote has taken place. The people elected their guy. And I know that you think there was a lot of misogyny in this, and a lot of people may have voted in that direction.
Women did.
Well, yeah, women don't. Look, we had that young girl in here yesterday, Natalie, and she talked about when she played that game, women were her biggest problem. Women are the ones that made her change.
Yeah.
Because they don't, for whatever reason, women might think that there's a finite amount of whatever. I know it stings today, but life goes on. America made their pick. Donald Trump has promised a lot of things. And those people believed in those promises. And I honestly think that he deserves the shot to see that if he can deliver on those promises. That's the important thing to me today. Because I don't know whether he can or can't, but you could have said that about Obama, Bush, Bill Clinton, whoever it is. They come in writing those promises, and whatever they are, they've got to be able to see if they can deliver. I, for one, think what's ever good for America is good for America. You know, is he going to bring the industry back? Let's do it. Bring it back. These people that voted for him need jobs. They absolutely saw different parts of every state out there. Upstate New York,
right,
the middle of Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio. There's a lot of places.
And maybe we can put to bed this conversation, this PC culture conversation, which clearly was not a problem. You know what I mean? It clearly was not an issue. This pussification of America that everybody acted like was such a huge problem. Clearly it's not. It's not a problem.
Here is Adam in Iowa. Adam.
How you doing, buddies?
Yeah.
Hey, being from Iowa and actually Trump taking Iowa, it just kind of shows me in the rural area I live that Hillary and the Democrats have just lost touch with, people that are working, 50, 60 hours a week. And, we were just tired of the press. If you look at the press reaction last night, it's just like complete shock. And realistically, they were so influenced on this race that it's just crazy to me.
Well,
I think it's also
everything that you're saying is correct. The pollsters were 100% wrong. The media was 100% wrong. And there is a fury underneath. And it rose up. And in my opinion, that fury was dealt with in the most positive way that we possibly could. And that is an election that went peacefully. You know what I mean? But people, make no mistake that there is a lot of anger that took place, and it was, used to back Donald Trump. And also make no mistake about this. What Donald Trump did was the longest shot in the history of American politics. He went in and beat 16 or 17 other people in the primaries, people that have been working in politics their entire life. Then he went in and beat the Clintons and the Obamas. He did it without a ground game, which is ridiculous. He did it based on just social media and drawing crowds, and nobody had seen that happen before. And the other thing about Donald Trump that you have to admire, I've never seen anyone in the history of the United States campaign as relentlessly as that guy did. He was out every single day for 17 months, flying around, hitting 2-3 cities a day. This is a guy in his fucking 70s. Most of us take a plane trip somewhere, and it takes us 2 days to feel fucking comfortable in the new town. You get exhausted. You're like, did I drink enough water? Am I eating enough protein? He went out, and I waited him to say, look, I don't need this shit. I'm a billionaire. I golf. I own things. I'm going to go and do that. So all the people thought, he was just doing this to set up another business, were wrong. He's a guy that went after it. And from a competitive point of view, you saw him enjoy it. Now, the lock her up stuff, you saw that last night, was bullshit. He never meant those things that he said. Some of his followers did. So now we have to find out what else did he mean and what else did he not mean, and see if he meant enough that he's going to go out and do these things. But I'll say it one more time. I think he's got, and I think him, every single right to go out and do everything that he promised to do. Here's Jerry in Canada.
way up north here in northern Manitoba, and we'd like to put an invite out. I'd love to have Katy Perry up here with them big boots and nice butt or one of hers, and we'll take them all. You know, if they want to leave the States, we'll take them all. But I love the Donald, so I'm glad what happened last night. I hope it happens up here in Canada too now.
Yeah, you guys look like liberal McWeirdos all of a sudden.
Libtards.
Here's Wayne. Wayne in Canada. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Bennington's a long-time fan.
Thanks.
Hey, yeah, I'm of the same mind as you there, Ron. I don't really hate to say it, but Gail, I think, is a little off-center there. This whole thing with you, the vote down in the States and even in Britain with the Brexit and all that, it's just indicative now of basically the common man, the general populace. You have the media and the left wingers that are trying to push all these agendas on the general populace that really we could give, we don't really care too much about, the gay and the LGBTs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we live and let live for the most part, and as long as you don't bug us, it doesn't really matter to us. But they keep pushing it and pushing it, and the people are just getting fed up.
You think it was the gay marriage that did it?
No, I don't think it was the gay. I think that was one of the tipping points.
Uh-huh.
But, I think, you see, it seems like nowadays that the political and the media, they've all become elitist. They all want to make the big bucks, like the celebrities and the sports stars and all this. Everybody wants to be up there and important, but the common man is being left in the wake and supposed to pay for it all. And that's what I think where the real backlash is coming, is that, Joe Average wants to be known and wants to be counted for. And he's not seeing that. So that's why you're seeing all these revolts, so to speak. Like up in Canada, we voted Trudeau on, and he's a far left liberal, but yet he's been in power now over a year, and he's fulfilled every pledge that the former Prime Minister Harper did, which was center of right. He hasn't changed anything liberal, so it's all been lip service to get elected. And once they're in power, the pork barreling and all the rest remains the same. And I think that's where the people are starting to clue in.
All right, I appreciate it, Wayne. I'm going to keep going on and getting some more calls, though. But what he's saying is, the two coasts are different from the middle of the country. And if you go over to the Interbank today and read the tweets that were coming in from comedians, and these are all the people who do our shows. And when we go out and do shows, I always ask which way people are voting. And, you were just as easy to find a guy with a rhino horn in New York City as you were to say somebody who said, I'm backing Trump. You know what I mean? It was not and is not a New York or LA thing. It's also not a Washington, D.C. thing. It's not a Chicago thing. It's not a Pittsburgh thing. It's not an Atlanta thing. People talk about red states and blue states, and what we really saw last night, particularly in a place like the state of Pennsylvania, is that the Philadelphia people and the Philadelphia suburban people and the people who live in Pittsburgh are totally different than the people who live in the rest of the state. And I always say that I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from the southeast fucking corner of Pennsylvania. I know the middle of the state probably as well as Chris knows upstate. You know what I mean? It just seems like another place, it's where your friends go to jail. You know what I mean? Or to go hunting or whatever.
Country. Yeah, I mean, I was in PA over the weekend, and the amount of Trump signs I saw, and again, just outside of Philadelphia. So,
right.
I was in that moment. I was like, wow, this is a lot more support in a state that I would have thought, we all expected to carry. So, that's just what happens. That's what happens when you go outside of the city. It's a change. Just as shocking as I'm sure it is if you're moving the other direction. It must feel like a very surreal, weird thing where, the divide just feels so great.
We live in a different kind of America from each other. Here is Anna in Annapolis. Anna.
Hi, buddy.
Hey.
Hi. So it's so crazy. I'm driving right through the center of Pennsylvania right now. I live in Annapolis. My parents are on the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. And just the drive today, you're right, like Gail was saying, it's all Trump signs, heavy, like the signs of barns painted Trump, not just the yard sign, but like people are all in with it. And I voted for him. I did. We're small business owners, and I think we can really benefit a lot from some of the things that he's going to get going, and I'm ready to kind of ride the crazy train. But the thing I'm wondering is if he has really thought about what the consequences are now that he actually got it. Like, is he going to have buyer's remorse, essentially? $7 million, $70 million, he got the presidency. His life is going to be completely different.
Well, like they say, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And I was watching him last night.
Yeah.
And he looked quite serious. He wasn't gloating about it. I mean, I think he gets the full responsibility that is, going down. Now, one of the things that the way Trump has run his businesses over the years is a lot of times he'll put his name on something and he'll come back and check every once in a while and see how they're running it. And if he's not happy with the property, he'll fire the person. When you're the president, you take the full heat for everything. Yeah. If there's a fucking shooting in Missouri, it's your fault. If a fucking bomb goes off in fucking Holland, it's your fault. If the Dow rises or falls, you get the fault or credit. So that kind of stuff will be difficult for anybody to write up, particularly a guy who makes that kind of snap verbal decision. I mean, he's like as quick as I am to make up his mind about something like, fuck you. You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting, but you said you chose him because you think it's going to be good for the country. What is your hopes and dreams that happens here, Anna? What's going to happen?
Well, I don't know so much for the country. I was part of that idea of just wanting something just different, just being done with her and the Clinton legacy. I'm all for the pro-woman, and I think that was awesome, but just I couldn't drink the Kool-Aid with her. And I think with somebody like...
Did I lose you?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, Anna, your phone went out because I love where you were going with that. Here is John in Louisiana. How are you?
Hey there, Ronnie B. You know, as a Trump voter and a supporter, I got to be the first one to apologize that we have now fucked up your traffic on Fifth Avenue for the next 4 years.
I don't know. I've heard that the Secret Service doesn't want him in that building. That is not a secure, and I mean it's a public building where anybody can walk into the ground floor.
It's a giant security threat
of that building. Anyone, and you're invited. It's actually public space. The bottom of that building is public space, and it is. I don't know whether you want the president above the air on a non-escape place.
That's what they call a soft target or whatever. And last night, all around there, every parking garage was just blocked off by the cops because they didn't want anyone being able to get underground, anything. It was fucking crazy.
They had, and we had pictures of this, dump trucks filled with sand.
Just block the entire block.
The entire block. So, I don't know. I mean, he might be sleeping his last nights in the Trump Tower. And then, the rest of his life, he's a security, risk after that. Here is David in California.
Right. It seems like in the 70s, the Democrats, it seems like the Democrats of the 70s have become the Republicans of today. And I don't know where, at the time, the Democrats became so arrogant about the law. They can do whatever they want. They put it in our face. And the people, I think, recognize that, and they got tired of that.
Well, I don't know what you mean about the law part of it, but the working man is the reason why I registered as a Democrat when I was a kid. They were the kind of people that voted for Donald Trump, working people used to be pro-union. And when I grew up, everybody's dad, except for mine, my father wasn't a union guy. I mean, he had been when he was younger, but he had moved up. But all the guys on my block, their fathers were union guys. It always seemed to me that the union was the best way for a regular guy to have a little leverage. Yeah. In the same way that you attempt, anybody tries to have leverage in a negotiation. So they lost that. It's gotten away from them. That should have been theirs. Trump has them now, but now he's got to figure out how he's going to serve those people.
He's got to deliver.
Because I got to tell you, and I brought this up before, look in any fucking factory and you see machines making machines. There's not the kind of jobs in a factory that were in a factory when my father was a young man. You know what I mean? A factory used to let out in my neighborhood, fucking thousands and thousands of guys would come walking out every shift. You'd see 3,000 or 4,000 guys go in, 3,000 or 4,000 guys go out. Next shift, 3,000 or 4,000 guys go in. So those were working places. These factories now, Elon Musk's factories, every once in a while you see a guy walking around wearing a white fucking suit, checking on shit. But there's not people building things.
Amazon's warehouses just have drones walking around, rolling around grabbing the packages.
Chris in Charlotte.
Hey, buddy.
What's up?
I wanted to say, I think it's really interesting that there's very much been a shift toward kind of anti-bully movement in this country. And I really believe that Trump basically bullied his way at least into the Republican nomination, if not into the presidency.
Well, look, America elected a strongman. They did. They wanted a guy who could get things done.
Daddy's going to win. They wanted Daddy to win. That's it. They felt very strong, yes. Very comfortable with him. And, I think that, this is something that it was going to swing this direction. But I think that it was such a shock, not just to people on the left or Democrats. You could see the shock in him, I think. I mean, I think that it was such a weird thing. I mean, that he wasn't expecting this because of the amount of, the election is rigged, and they were putting out so much of that energy up until the final hour, until I think that they were like, oh, whoa, I had no idea, that it was gonna go this way.
This is always a shock and an uncomfortability when we get a new president of any kind. People feel it immediately because none of us, as much as we even say we want change is always an uncomfortable thing.
Right.
So, but we did elect a strongman. We elected a guy who we wanted to be the single guy. You know what I mean? We wanted a guy who said, I've got this. We don't want a guy who's like, I'm looking at the marketing research and I'm going to think about it. We wanted a gut reactor. And now we got one. Let's see what happens. Let's see what works. Could America have been right? Maybe they made the right decision. Maybe it took an outside guy. We don't know until it plays out a little bit. So as many people who are saying this is great, and a lot of people saying we are doomed, we don't fucking know. We don't know. We don't know what he's going to do or how he's going to do it. We do know that he says these things are easily fixable. ISIS is easily fixable. We're going to destroy them. We're not going to have to worry. The law and order stuff is easily fixable. Immigration, easily fixable. We've been promised this. Why not let it play out? We had the election. Let's see what it is. I mean, I don't know how big the wall's going to be. I imagine it's going to be enormous. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be working on that. I don't know, quite frankly, some hot conditions. I don't want that job.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, stay hydrated is Very, very important.
He also said we're going to get along with everyone in the world. So international relations looks good.
And we're going to go back and renegotiate every trade deal, and trillions of dollars are going to come in, and we're going to use that money. And the Mexicans. Let's see. Maybe he can do it.
I'm excited as a Trump cuck.
Here's Ryan. Ryan in Ohio.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
So I got to look at the comedic, the comedy side of this. And I don't know about you guys, but I follow Louis J. Gomez on Facebook. And I don't know if you saw his post this morning.
Yeah.
It just says, "This is Facebook today." And then he posted REM, "Everybody Hurts."
You know, let me just say this about Louis J. Gomez. This proves that I'm in Trump America as quickly as I can be. Louis J. Gomez has been hiding behind the fact that he says he's a Puerto Rican. He's a Mexican and an illegal Mexican. And I want him to be the first to go. And I love the guy, but I am ready for the brand new thing.
These are the rules now.
Yes. He's no Puerto Rican. That's bullshit. There is amazing piece after piece after piece of stuff, but Chris Laker, and these are all up on the iBang, and Chris Laker, his tweet last night was, well, go ahead and read it, Chris.
11/9 could possibly be worse than 9/11.
So that is fairly in the center of where comedians were last night.
Sure.
Most comedians were freaked. Well, you remember when I did that Unmasked with Andy Kindler in Canada, and I told him then I thought Trump could win. And he was like, no fucking way. Like he couldn't. Those kind of emotions played out over Twitter. As a matter of fact, it got really ugly. If the iBang would have put up the amount of things that were cruel things that were said about little Baron Trump last night.
Sleepy Baron.
They attacked that kid. They viciously attacked that kid. Some people, even friends of ours, also said that they believed he had raped people.
He's a little pussy grabber.
Here's our buddy Red in Canada. It's funny how many Canadians are checking in with us today.
First off, I'll just say that personally, I think that Trump is maybe a refreshing change for the United States because what you guys have had going really hasn't been working well for you. He's really extreme, but it might be a refreshing change. I don't know.
I'm up for seeing where...
This is like the word refreshing.
Yes.
I guess it could be fresh a bit.
Yeah. Things have been logjam for a long time. They really have been. Let's see if this guy can't break the logjam. Let's give him a shot. So go ahead, Red.
Right. If you remember yesterday, I phoned in and offered Gail to come to Canada.
Yeah.
And apparently last night, the Canadian immigration website crashed from apparently too much traffic, people obviously looking to move to Canada.
Yeah, I saw that on CBS.
I thought very seriously about that proposal. It popped into my head right away. I was like, what was it again? Parka, snow machine. I was like, I could get used to it, I guess.
Healthcare.
Right.
Well, a friend of mine who doesn't wish to live a public life terribly freaked out about his health care.
Yeah. I checked in with said friend this morning.
How's he feeling?
Not great. Not very good. Mm-mm.
He had a rough night last night. A lot of our friends had a rough night. I was being the same kind of glasses half full guy that I'm being today. But I've seen elections. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I've seen elections.
And like that's another thing is that, you know, I came into adulthood during the anger and the backlash of a Bush America.
Yeah.
And I do know what that kind of stuff does on the other side. I do know the energy that comes with that. And I noticed that during the Obama administration. I was like, wow, this is a sleepy left. You know, a left that was not so quiet during the Bush administration. And it's very interesting. And that's kind of why things end up swinging back the way, just exactly how the Trump supporters feel today. We revved it up. We showed up. We were angry enough because we had somewhere to claw up from. This is something that happens, and you will see, perhaps, energy that will, maybe not show its strength till 4 or 8 years from now.
Well, I will tell you this. I didn't see, and Trump had brought this up, I didn't see people, particularly women, in the streets for Hillary. You know what I mean? The other side was energized.
Right.
And
not like the energy that Obama had. And I guess to my point is sometimes that happens after a loss. Sometimes you kind of have to get kicked in the teeth in order to be like, okay, what do we have to do from here? It's unfortunate that that's the way it goes, and it's unfortunate for both sides that usually you have to come back from a loss.
There was a surprising amount of women over at Fox News celebrating Trump last night too. And like black dudes.
Yeah, but that's
because you're in Manhattan.
But it's not a surprise because if you look at the numbers, when they say the women vote, what they're really talking about is women of color. White women vote Republican in majority, and they did.
They vote for with their husband because they vote for the best angle. Most people vote for what works best for them personally.
Right.
No matter who else it does.
And for women, their definition of personally oftentimes has to do with their family and their husband.
Absolutely.
They see that as personally. They don't see themselves as individuals oftentimes. They see themselves as their family unit.
How many times have I tried to explain to people that the white man wants to rule? It's in our DNA. Yep. If something goes wrong, we go immediately, hold on, everybody, let's organize ourselves. There's always a white guy. And I'm one of them. I will go all the time. I know this feels crazy, but I think we can pull a couple things together. I know I was screaming at you guys a couple minutes ago. Now I'm calmed down. And we're going to figure out how I just blamed everybody, but now I want to turn around and work this thing out. But to go back to so we're going to do it. That's the guy that we elected. Not only, I think we're looking in that picture, at least 2 presidents, whether it's going to be Pence or Barron Trump with Donald. One of them will want to be a future president. I think we jump over Eric.
Oh, yeah.
But, go back to your point about how when people win, they get lazy. I always remember Lawrence of Arabia. Did you ever watch that movie? And he would lead these Arabs and they would have this big win. And then the people would take whatever stuff they would take off the losing army and they would go home. And he would be like, wait, we got another battle. And they're going, oh, we just got this stuff. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't understand. And I think that happens, all the time. Here's Christina. Christina, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Great.
Yeah, I'm a transgender truck driver from Canada.
Uh-huh.
I drive in the States all the time. And I got to tell you, in the trans community right now, people are literally shaking in their boots because of what Trump seems to want to represent. There's been a lot of talk that he's going to start writing up these anti-LGBT laws to kind of, get rid of us or something. I'm not sure exactly what he's planning. But people are also trying to tell me that he's for gay rights and all this and has built bathrooms in his casinos. But other parts I've heard that he's actually fully against us.
Well, like I said, I live in Trump's neighborhood. I never saw him, he's a business guy, so he's not anti-anything. He's kind of pro-money. I've never seen him be anti-gay. And I would say, if I did, the transgender thing is such a new mainstream thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I think, I think a lot of people are ready to protect that community. I think a lot of people, if there was an attack, and I think Trump would see that immediately. What I'm trying to say is I don't think Trump sees that as an upside for him to go after transgenders.
Yeah, I don't think it would be his target, but I also don't think that he's against kind of siding with anything that does him good. You know what I mean? If something like that proved to be a benefit to him, he would. In the way that everybody said, you're not going to get away with winning an election if you go after the Hispanic community because there are too many Hispanics in this country. And you can't attack women. You can't attack Muslims because now you're talking about too large of a group. Obviously, those statements that he made did go over well.
But I think...
So I do think that, like, if it is of benefit to him, I don't think it's off the table.
Yeah, well, he does owe the evangelicals, there's no doubt. I mean, they came through for him in droves last night. But, the anti-Muslim sentiments, I think he believes in them. I think he does believe in the, pro-American border. He's a security guy. I don't think that he... Look, I'll just say this, Christine. If you feel like you're running in trouble out there, get a hold of us, because we'll put you in people that'll help. But I don't see Donald Trump coming after you for any reason. I really don't. But anything can change. I mean, like you said, right. Everything's sliding back and forth now. Right now I see Trump as nice guy Eddie. He doesn't exactly, somebody tell him one thing. Right. That's all.
First things fucking last. I don't know who has the diamond.
Who made the call, though, other than I said Sean Hannity and Coulter? Who was like a big name person who made the call? I mean, Nick DiPaolo, obviously, but Nick didn't have as much. He didn't have as much on the line as those guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, DiPaolo was the first. It was like, I see a Brexit situation that everyone...
He called it on our show.
Yeah, he said, it's going to be like Brexit. Everyone's going to be shocked.
And he said, fuck the polls. He says the polls are bullshit.
Yeah, that's exactly his sentiment, but...
Yeah, he just brought up, look at the crowds Trump has. Look at him. And look at him versus Hillary. And he was out there constantly. That's what Nick exactly brought up.
Nate Silver tried to cover for himself today because he had it at 29% or whatever. I'm going to say this. Fuck you, Nate Silver.
Yeah.
Fuck any pollster out there. You're all bullshit. And it's been dry. I've been saying for a while, you can't believe any poll until you're like a week out.
Oh, yeah. There's no point.
You couldn't believe any poll till after. I'm watching those guys who work the polling all the time on TV, and I was switching around. And then when they were trying to figure out Florida, and what they were saying is, it's not that Broward counties started to go red. It's that the red counties went redder than they even thought they were going to go.
Right.
That suddenly they went out and found new people.
People who maybe stayed home.
Or never voted before.
Right.
Or maybe young. But at no time did anybody see that kind of a groundswell. And quite frankly, it is, it's very, very interesting. Here is Chris in Houston. Chris.
Hey guys, man, I'm floored by the nice guy Eddie comment. That was exactly right. And look, I don't like Trump. I voted for him, and he might be every bad thing they say he is. But what comes out of this to me is we get to rub the noses of the pollsters and the media and the left-wing celebrities who think they know us so well and who think they call the shots. We get to rub their nose in it. I mean, these were two terrible choices. We were one step away from two monkeys throwing shit at each other.
Well,
and this is what we got. We should be ashamed of these two candidates.
Well, Chris, let's just slow it down there. I think that you are 100% right that this was about rubbing the nose of the media and the government and maybe even Wall Street. I think it goes around that people who have been borderline living paycheck to paycheck wanted to say a big fuck you I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of not being able to get my fucking kid braces and feeling bad about it. I'm sick of my kid asking me for some kind of sneakers I can't afford. I'm sick of the fact that we're living most of the winter on deer meat. And I gotta fucking turn on TV and seeing people living better than me. This is the most peaceful way that revolution could have taken place. Because along the way, at some fucking point, a real revolution probably could or maybe should take place. So if this is a peaceful way of doing this, and now we have Donald Trump, who made a lot of promises, and I certainly think he deserves the shot. I'm going to go back to the way I started. He deserves the shot to see if this stuff works. If you don't think he deserves it, the people who voted for him deserve it. Let's see if he can shoot from the hip and run this thing, and maybe he can.
Yeah.
Maybe we give him the thing. Maybe we turn around and go, man, look at all the jobs, and we've got new bridges, and blah, blah, blah. And look, we destroyed ISIS, and we've got this beautiful fucking wall, and look, the kids are down there, and they're opening up, you know, they're drawing art on the wall, and they're opening up businesses, and the wall is so thick you can barely hear the cries and pleas of the starving people on the other side of it. Perfect. Maybe that's, maybe it all works. I don't know. But why not give the guy the shot? The people voted for it.
The people voted. Chris Stanley said it best. This is what America deserves. They got what they wanted. And, I mean, we have no other choice. So let's see you go.
Let's be Americucks.
Now, are we going to break first, Chris?
We can break, yeah.
There was another election that took place on the interbank. Who is the best Trump impersonator? That was won with an 87% vote for Anthony Atamanuik. He beat the big Hollywood elite, SNL's own Alec Baldwin. He stumped. Trump versus Bernie live from Brooklyn is available now on iTunes. And coming up next, we're going to have the world's best, and he's probably not going to be happy about this. Trump impersonator, as well as a great actor, Anthony Atamanuik, coming up next. This is Bennington. Well, we said there were two elections that went on the election last night, and then the who does the best Trump in the world that was up on the interrobang, and Alec Baldwin was just schooled by our own Anthony Atamanuik. How are you, buddy?
Yo, thank you.
87% of the vote out there, the comedy vote.
Yeah.
That means the people who know whether you got the NBC 1130 shot or not.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, that ship sailed a few months ago, but that was an online poll, right?
Yeah, it was.
So just like Trump, I won the online polls where you can vote a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But it turns out, as we learned today, that they're very accurately reflect what's going on. So.
You wanted to get rid of your Trump impression and move on. I don't know if that's possible, my friend.
No, I know. I'm going to be honest. This is like being in a dream a bit right now, because, I did the View live last night and then was up until 3:30 and then basically slept for 2 hours and then went and did Stern. So I'm also in this like foggy half space where I don't think I've even accepted what's going on. Then I have these waves of sort of panic and fear, and then waves of reassurance, different parts of the psyche kicking in. And I'm going to have to figure out how to do him, because I want to make listen, I have to make a living. So part of that is making money. But part of it is also, I think it's like a deal where I have to pay out to get some. So I have to pay out in terms of the quality of what I do and at the satirical value. And if that's not there, then I won't just start, I won't be doing a Wendy's commercial as Trump.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So that's
but how strange, when we met you last year when you guys were out doing, Trump,
versus Bernie.
Trump versus Bernie, which live from Brooklyn is available now on iTunes. And I told you guys then that it was such a brilliant piece of theater. It was so It was so different than just saying something is comedic or here's a sketch. It's really, really brilliant. You guys ended it in Montreal, right?
That's correct. On the 26th of July.
And the weird
Which
thing,
I was at that exact show.
Yeah.
That was the last
Oh,
one.
yeah, that's right. With Andy Kindler.
Yes.
Moderator, yes.
Andy Kindler, who,
great
by the
Andy
way,
Kindler.
freaked today. He is...
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
And because he was as vocal as any of us in before the show. You know, I know he hates Trump.
Well, that's the thing of, and this is kind of a wake up call for people who live in New York or around L.A. We don't know anyone, right? Who doesn't kind of feel the way that we've been talking here, and yet there's a giant part of the country who is saying
40 an equal part.
And no matter where you look, and actually, if you even go upstate New York, they feel the same way.
Upstate Western Massachusetts. You basically go to any rural area where the middle class quality of living has dropped, jobs have shrunk, and also I talked with James about this today. I think that part of this. This is not an anti-Hillary statement. This is just a statement, I think, of observation, which is that I think there was also a rejection in some level, not so much an endorsement of Trump, but a rejection of the fact that the Democratic Party got punished for the fact that it did rig Bernie a bit out of an actual competitive go. And I'm not saying Bernie could have done it, but he might have. The conditions might have been different because there wouldn't have been this sense that the system was taking it from one side and Trump was filling a vacuum that nobody else could effectively do. So you sort of get the worst of all possibilities, but we can't deny the reality of two things in this country. The white supremacy movement has been and is larger than we think and has existed in all sorts of permutations throughout this country for a long time. But that is a small fact compared to the larger fact of a global sense of not feeling in charge of your life, in charge of a good wage, of feeling as if the world is slipping away from you, for a lot of people. And that, I'm not justifying it. I'm just simply saying that's a fact. And when I teach improv classes, and I have mostly upper middle class kids in those classes, and they depict working class people as idiots, fools, garbage, it's disgusting. If that is the mentality that's living in the left, at which, by the way, the left is rooted in the working class, is rooted in the uneducated, or as I would say, my grandfather had an 8th grade, 9th grade education. Started a business. It ran for 45 years, 50 years. We have become a division that is both up and down, black and white, male and female. But I think the most important one is these cycles of bubbles of reinforced algorithms in which we only see our own information. We feel good about preaching it out. We get positive reinforcement from it. And this is creating psychic divisions that we can't account for because we don't have any psychology that is caught up to the new waves of media that are hitting us every single year. And that is the deep problem.
Well, I certainly grew up working class. My family would have, if Trump would have ran on who wins my family, he would have won. You know what I mean?
Oh, so he did win my family.
Yeah. So when I go home from Thanksgiving, just us New Yorkers will be the only people who didn't vote for Trump. And unlike, a lot of people say this is a silent majority. My family's never been silent about it. They've been pretty upfront, But that is true that that thing that you said about teaching an improv class, and that we think that people who work with their hands or work physically are somehow beneath people who work on a fucking website or in a marketing firm. That's bullshit and has always been bullshit.
Total bullshit and an invention. And what we saw, if we saw the housing bubble burst in 2008 and 9, we saw the political institution bubble pop today. We saw the elite bubble pop today. And the thing is we can't confuse the elites with the blue bloods. The elites are the times that I've done industrial work for marketing firms, and you get to see the inside of how they market Coors or Bud Light, or the elite in the sense of the intelligentsia that spend their time doling out observations on Twitter and reinforcing their arguments with other pieces of media that reinforce their already baked in thinking. That is the elite we're talking about. It's people who I see moving to Astoria, who I've lived in that neighborhood 16 years. Only in the last 2 or 3 years do I encounter a sort of impatient disgust by what I would, yuppies are the word we used to call them.
Right.
In my neighborhood, in stores, at bodegas, at the pork store, whatever, this sort of lack of understanding of the cohesion of what it is to be in a physical community with other people.
Yeah.
And I sit at my Thanksgiving table. I love my uncle. I love my cousins, right? They're all right. They're right wingers. I love them. We talk with each other and we yell sometimes, but I think that is the problem, is we don't have an integration anymore of ideas where we can sit with each other and at least at a minimum, and this is on both sides, the hatred is deep, the fear is deep. There's a great Adam Curtis, this new documentary, Hypernormalization, it's creating this tech class of people who don't see the world as it is.
Right, physical world.
Yeah, they don't see the physical world. They see this virtual world, and they trade on almost like a court, like a royal court, right?
Yeah,
it's like a massive royal court where are you liked? Are you not liked? What are your views? That your credibility is based on your social network, which is exactly the feudal model.
This is the thing about Trump that I think is the background that I don't think people understood that he got. To have an Atlantic City hotels, right, instead of Vegas hotels means he was never after the whales. He was always after the grandmothers and buses. He figured out how do you get those people to come in? How do you entertain them? How do you take their money and have them leave thinking they had a good day? Right. He did something that certain rock bands have understood, how to go out and play to the middle of the country. The blue collar comedians fucking picked up on it a long time ago. Yep. They never win awards, but they made a hell of a living for themselves. So he tapped into that. But now, like in George Orwell's Animal Farm, now those people who voted have to make sure the pig's walking upright. Are they suddenly putting top hats on and sitting at the table? I think that Trump has deserved the thing to see. I think the people who voted Trump deserve to see if he can make this shot work. I think they get a year, 2 years before we figure out which direction this is going in. I don't know how he brings industry to the people that we're talking about. I don't know what you do. It's a very complicated problem.
I don't think that he has anything to do with it, because now you have to separate. He is his own operator with an internal belief of his sort of movie narrative. He's not aware really or cares really about what's going on beyond his own understanding of his narcissistic understanding of his caring. So like he said, God, I'm caring. I'm loving. That makes me good. I'm good. That's how he's thinking. So he's not going, how do we fix these? He might be doing, how do we fix these problems on the surface way of how do I appear to fix these problems? Or what would, what did they do in the American president? Like, I think he's thinking that way, but not from a core conviction. I think from a core conviction, he probably is both shocked that he just became president.
He looked very serious last night. He looked
he looked
stunned to me.
Stunned. I do not think he thought he was going to win. And I think he's shitting his pants a little bit. Yeah, that's what I think.
I mean, what I was saying is, that his staff and he obviously felt that way because they were leading up to it with putting so much energy on this election is rigged and I won't concede. And they were ready to counterpunch and found out that they didn't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think they were just as stunned as anyone.
I really think they were. And I think that this idea of getting into his head, he has a separate problem that to me resides mostly and we all know there's someone in the Joint Chiefs of Staff always who's like, use a small nuke. Use a small nuke.
Right.
And that voice is going to go up into his head. At some point, someone will get to him. And the question will be, is he able to have the presence of mind at a minimum, the sense of narcissistic self-preservation, that if he does this, it will kill him.
Right.
That is the deepest concern. Every other thing, the court has moved one way or another. Executive orders have been undone before. We didn't have a healthcare system up until 7 years ago. It's not like it's just going to fall apart.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say these aren't major things, but all other things are fixable or returnable. But wholesale war, nuclear war, or the creating a power vacuum that fosters China and Russia to fill that vacuum is really the most dangerous thing. And that is based on perception, not on action.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really fascinating.
Anthony Tamnick's in studio. Trump versus Bernie live from Brooklyn. That's available now on iTunes.
Let me just say this to folks that haven't seen this. Now more than ever. You know what I mean? Like now more than ever, sit down and watch this. And this is the great thing about Anthony. And I think it's why you bring in a unique thing, because you're such a great actor and you play the Trump character. So you do the acting that it takes to think about this guy.
Yeah.
And it's a really fascinating piece of theater. And I remember you saying, I hope this is the last time I do Trump. I want to go on and do other things. And I'm saying now, this is beyond your choice now.
I've been drafted.
Yes.
It turns out the draft still exists.
Right. So you went in and did Stern today, who's actually knows Trump about as well as anybody in the media.
Oh, yeah.
He's had him on for years and years and years.
Oh, yeah.
So how did that feel sitting in the chair that Trump has done that?
I mean, it was James and I, so we did a stand-up for that one, but, or at a podium. But being in there the few times I've been in, I'm always like, I'm occupying the same space that he's occupying.
Isn't that odd, right?
It's very odd. And also knowing he's probably heard me on Stern.
Yeah.
And I got the sense, because Howard said, he listens to everything. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm sure he's heard you. So that was interesting in the sense of being like, he really has heard what I've done, which frightens me too.
Yeah.
It does. It's like made me, I have a tendency inside my head to get over dramatic and go, my God, I could get locked up, or this thing or that, or nuclear war and all this. And then I have sort of a balancing self that's like, listen, like you can't control that. It could be happening, but also probably not. You're probably not a big enough bump on the log for him to be bothered by. But then the question is that would be the mission of the next 4 years, if I was to sort of continue to do this, would be to be a bigger bump on the log.
Right.
So there's a interesting collision of intentions where...
Well, I'll tell you this is also interesting about Trump is I don't think anyone's ever walked through a bigger shitstorm to get to the prize. I mean, he has been shit on every day for, I think it's 17 months. And also the physicality of that guy to go out and travel every day and give a major speech. I mean, you're in the business. You know how exhausting it is.
I don't even understand. I could barely do one show a day.
Yeah.
He's doing 5 or 6 rallies. And I do really do him.
Yeah.
So if I'm staying there, you start out and you're like, wonderful crowd, beautiful crowd. We won everything. I only wish. I don't know why I didn't get it was a rigged election. You know that? Even though I won, it's a rigged election because I didn't get 100% of the vote. Hillary was I thought the loser gave you their votes and you got everything. So Melania's going to be a wonderful first lady. For 3 months. For 3 months until we shove her off a ship.
That weird, kind of ADD that he has, that he'll go back and get a thought.
Yeah.
Like you can see him go somewhere and he goes back and gets another thought.
I think perhaps what you tap into there, that gentle Trump is maybe my most favorite thing. It's
gentle Trump who talks like this, and he wants you to be calm. He's my favorite.
Yeah.
I had a new thing where I do Good Night Moon, where it's like Good Night Mexicans, Good Night Jews, Good Night Muslims. Good time to snooze.
That is also interesting here in the city because we know people of every ethnic background and they think it's them. They think, oh shit, they're coming
Oh, yeah.
for me.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're all like,
Oh, yeah, everybody.
and they're like, I know you think you're weirded out by this, but imagine.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
That is so true.
I mean, you know, if you take the perspective, if you're a woman and you think, Jesus Christ, what does this mean? You know that the next person over, a woman of color, and farther and deeper until, you know, whatever. Everybody feels like they're the target of.
I think also the thing that's amazing more than the fact that Middle America loves him. This is a Queens guy. This is a guy that they're supposed to think all the bad things about.
Yeah, New York
values.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
New York
exactly him.
Yeah.
That's him.
But there is a thing with him where his swagger and his lack of interest in caring about anything, so that everything he presented was always sort of like off the cuff and not really important.
Yeah.
Right? So anything he said, I didn't really mean that. Right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I think is that he occupies this Archie Bunker space in our psyche, which the lovable bigot.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's what
Also from Queens.
Yeah, also
from Queens guy.
And you can't really underestimate just the love and obsession of celebrity for people. So people just, I think with him, they're like, I know that guy. And
Right.
that's
Oh,
enough
yeah.
for them. You know what I mean? Like, that's enough sometimes.
But his concerts or his rallies, which are massive storytelling shows where before he was contained to the teleprompter, were these almost like C-3PO with the Ewoks, like epic stories of from the beginning. I mean, until he got on prompter, he always started with, there were 17. We started out with 17 and it was amazing to me because I would watch it and it was hypnotic and you'd be like, oh, of course he's taking you through the story and he's adding little pieces. And in that sense, it was very easy to do him because I was like, oh, this is so easy. He has a core story that he just adds pieces to, and then he shelves all these asides and allows himself to go on tangents. My mind already works like that.
Right.
This is an easy fit. But listen, you cannot deny, and we can say how stupid this country is, and people can write how dumb everybody is and how racist they are, and and Trump didn't deserve this, and he stole this, and whatever people think. The guy defied every single expectation the entire way through, and the media class right to the end last night chuckle fucking like it did not matter. And those exact people are the exact reason Trump got elected.
Sure.
Brian Williams making snarky comments at 2:45 in the morning when there are really people who are affected by what happens by Trump becoming president showed the disconnect. Like, we think we have a disconnect?
Right.
Those people are the dukes and the duchesses, the lords and the ladies, and they're gross.
Yeah,
they're gross people.
Yeah, Brian Williams is in the Brian Williams business, period. That's what he
And you
cares
couldn't
about.
feel it more strongly than last night. Like, it probably was, if you felt kind of disenfranchised by this election, you probably would have been better off watching Fox than that, because it was so weird to hear their fucking banter back and forth. Like, it's not a fucking football game. You know what I mean? They're just like, we just love the sport. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, but then you think, don't you think 10, 20, 30 years ago, that I don't even know how you undo what is now media. And I don't think there is a way. We have to instead, as they say in driving education, turn into the skid. I think we have to accept the new world and figure out how to create conditions and self-regulations that bring back an integrity to information in the new form that information exists in, as opposed to pretending that the stalwart institutions of networks and their subsets on cable news are somehow are still the people who are the serious business.
Right.
That this is the fiction that got us where we are. Oh, forget.
Yeah,
I'm not being very funny.
No. You don't have to be. Look, we know that you're hilarious. We know that you do a good bit. I love the fact that you kind of show us who the guy is who creates this stuff. That's the biggest kick that I get out of you. It was like, okay. So that's how you build something interesting. That's where you have to start.
Yeah.
That's where the ground level comes with a certain amount of rage and disgust before you can work it up.
And there is something also to be said about that. That art doesn't usually suffer from something like this.
No, you're
comedy
right.
does not suffer; it thrives. So there's a lot of elements where music does very well in times like this.
Think about it. Punk. All the great movements happen during restrictive. I mean, think about the least creative periods. I would argue that the media from 92 to 2000 was not that great.
Yeah,
a lot of disaster films. Right. And then 2008 to 2016 has been like, I guess Stranger Things was fun. But you know what I mean?
Right.
It's amazing when you think about it.
You do. You want to be in Berlin. Anybody who's an artist wants to be in Berlin in the 30s, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the I always tell this to my friends that gay people were so much more creative when they were underground. You know what I mean? We had everything that we love got created back in the 70s.
Right.
And now, they make fucking weird sitcoms that we don't give a shit about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. You guys used to be Bowie.
And run boutique shops too. And run great boutique shops in the South End of Boston. But I think that I don't know. I can't even.
Well, can't
even.
Now, here's the thing. There's a new responsibility to your comedy you saw what you guys did all summer, but now it comes next level. I don't know how you're going to play it out, but I know, like you said, you're drafted. You're going to be called upon to deliver some of these. Make sure you go and check this out online too. And has it been nominated for?
No, we're hoping it'll be nominated for a Grammy.
It's got to be.
We're hoping.
No, from what I understand the other day, $15,000, and there's some boutique people that can get you a Grammy.
Really?
Yeah, that was who told us that?
Barry Katz.
Barry Katz told us that's how he was able to get a thing nominated. Get a hold of Barry Katz. We'll give you the numbers.
Yeah. You
all
have
right,
$15,000 lying around.
Sure, I can figure it out. I'll do a Trump gig. We'll forget the whole calling thing, and I'll just do a corporate gig for Raytheon or something.
You just get out there and tell them how to sell paper for 25 minutes and pick up the 15 G's.
I love paper. I love pumpkins. What else? I love Wendy's. Oh, I love the bacon doublet. I don't care. Who cares at this point?
Anthony Atamanik's in the studio. Trump versus Bernie live from Brooklyn. That's available now on iTunes and on Twitter. It's at Tony Atamanik.
These are strange days, but it's so weird the way that you and James kind of saw this coming. It was very, very weird.
Yeah, we talk about that today too at the diner at the Green. What is it? The Green Point Diner on the 47th?
Green Roof Diner?
Yeah,
Evergreen.
Evergreen Diner.
Yeah.
Good diner. I guess I shouldn't plug something on your show. Sorry.
Good diner.
It's a great diner. Good over medium eggs. We predicted so many things, and my producer for the special texted me and said, do you remember in the writer's room the first day when we did a show of hands of who thought Trump could win? And it was the producer, myself, and one of the writers. And I remember, and plus the conceit of my show is that he won.
Right.
I will actually have a show that will take place on the fictional March 17th, 2017, that my show took place on. So I'm astonished at, and I don't think like we're psychic. I think that James and I were pretty prescient just about seeing patterns.
Yeah.
But again, I'll say I'll say it over and over again. The misogyny, I've been doing it since the get. I don't know why people were surprised by Pussy Bus. We talked about him winning. I talked about him winning Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. I talked about it being a bigger win than people thought. And, James, we predicted that Trump would come in Iowa second place. And I was saying he was being supported by white supremacists in February on CNN. And there was a shock. The stories weren't even being acknowledged in a legitimate way till the day before the election.
Did you see David Duke's tweet last night?
No.
Chris, look it up. It's really
I'm sure disgusting. Right?
Yeah, it's disgusting, but it's really amazing just how comfortable and out there that it is. Go ahead and read it, Chris.
God bless Donald Trump. It's time to do the right thing. It's time to take America back.
No, there was one before that. You got to read the one about our people. The one that he said, I know how responsible we are for this.
He says, you people are done. Trump shouldn't take...
No. You got to find the one that it was late last night when it all came in. It was really amazing because he was like, we're not going to get credit for this, but it's us.
Oh, I mean, this is
one of the most exciting nights of my life. Make no mistake about it. Our people have played a huge role in electing Trump.
Yeah. Our people,
yeah.
Yeah. And why anyone's surprised? I hung in the peripheral of the skin movement in the late 80s and as a kid and was not a participant, but was around those kids because those kids were friends of my friends. And I went to some of those clubhouses in Beverly and so on. And those people grow up and they don't always lose their ideology. And it's this is the thing I don't think people get. Anyone who watched Morton Downey Jr. or Rebecca De Mornay's Wally George know that we're not talking about cross-burning. You know, those are the people you trot out on Sally Jesse and all that to get in the 80s, to get this sort of titillation, like, look at this bizarre thing, this Klansman, what a dodo bird of humanity. And the truth is that for every one of those weirdos showing up dressed in the uniform are 100 who don't wear the uniform, who have a totally reasonable explanation that if you even listen to it for too long, you might be like, okay, well, maybe. That's the danger of that thinking, is it's tribal and there's justifications and you can, it comes in all sorts of forms. It's a shapeless, shiftless beast that, is stronger than just people with swastikas and skinheads and hoods. It's everyday people marching around.
Well, you don't end up in that, skinhead fucking pit unless you feel upset with the world. You feel upset about your place. In the world.
And lack of love probably in your home a lot of times.
Sure. So, it's always going to be there. Now it'll be interesting to see, it's easier to point fingers than it is to run with the ball. But it's going to be interesting to see.
What does he do?
Do we see a totally different guy or do we get that same guy?
Here's the one thing to say to that statement. Yeah. We have been asking that same question from June 16th, 2015, through the primary, through the nomination, through the election, and now today. And I will say that if the hammer hitting my head is correct, I do have a headache every time. And I am pretty certain, as of now, that if the pattern repeats itself, he will be exactly the same person he's been this entire time.
Yeah, I do think that he's 70? This is not the time that you go, oh, I'm going to change. You know what I mean?
Unless there's a secret intent. Yeah. Now, the only thing I'll say is if this was all a calculation and he knows that going in, then you could see a change. But that presumes a level of complex thinking that he must be a really good actor to show that, to hide that, It
is, it's stunning that we're sitting here. It's stunning that you just want to fast forward.
The thing that I heard over and over, and it was this like weird dream-like state. And I honestly believe that both sides believe that. You know what I mean? I think that both sides go, oh, is this a dream? Whether that's your nightmare or if
Dude, I watched Fox News all night. They were stunned. Fox News.
Oh, yeah, they were shocked.
Only Sean Hannity was celebrating. He was the only one was like, I was on this from jump. And then he actually said, Paul Ryan's not going to be your speaker. Oh, no. And Rudy came on and said, this is bad news for the Democrats and some Republicans. Mm-hmm. And that has never been said.
Yeah.
On a fucking election night in the history of the world.
Bad news. Yeah. It's bad news for everybody.
Yeah.
Just so you know. And I'll be your attorney general.
Yeah.
I knew Rudy back in the day. Maybe it's time to get in touch with him again. Make sure I get one of those passes before the camps start getting built. Rudy, I always gave you pizza.
How did you know?
I waited on him when he used to have dinner with Judy Nathan at midnight.
Really?
At John's Pizzeria on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
During the affair days.
Yeah, that's when he was down living on 57th Street instead of in Gracie Mansion.
What were they calling her again? Like they had some, I can't remember. Like his lady friend, but there was something like, she had some name that everyone was calling her.
That was one of the most amazing things when his family was living in Gracie Mansion and he wasn't.
He wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was staying in his friend's apartment down on
Rudy
57th.
and Judy.
Yeah.
Always a nice guy, though.
Yeah.
Always a good tipper.
Very, very personal.
So was
guy.
Howard, too.
Yeah.
I to tell him, I go, you gave me $100 every time I waited on you.
Is that
no matter
right?
what the bill was.
So,
well, when it was low, obviously it was a high, but if it was like $30, he'd just be like, here.
But see, that's the beauty of being a waiter. You see who people really are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oasis.
Yeah.
One brother, totally nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what their name, and the other one, the biggest prick I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
And when I went to wait on them, so I worked at John's in the Upper West Side, this was in 2001, maybe 2000. And I used to get high on the third floor because it was abandoned. Sometimes it even snow cap the joint, put a little Coke on the front of it, get fucked up. So I would come down in a cloud of weed from the fucking stairs right to the table. So I show these two guys are sitting there. I probably stink. My uniform's probably like 5 days unwashed. And I'm like, what can I get you guys? And they go, and they look at me and they're like, you smell like weed. And I was like, yeah. Okay. So what do you want? And they go, do you know who we are? And I went, no. And they go, you don't know who we are? I kid you not. I go, no, I don't know who you two are. And they go, have you ever heard of a band called the Beatles? And I go, well, I know you're not them. And they go, well, some people said, this guy's saying this, he goes, some people said we were bigger than the Beatles.
Oh my God.
And I go, I don't know. I said, and then I went, oh. I was like, that's the two guys, the two guys, they stink. I can't, because I for sure thought they were fucking with me.
Yeah.
And they go, no, we're them. We're Oasis. And I was like, I don't listen to you guys. And the one wanted to complain and the other one was apologizing for his brother the entire time.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
Well, it's hard to tell them apart, so you don't even know which one to give credit to.
I can't. For the life of me.
You know it was the lead singer who's the jerk off, right?
Liam.
That's Liam, because I never know which
Noel,
Noel is the writer and then Liam is the fucking singer, right? That's their gimmick?
Yeah.
One is the fucking genius and the other one has the voice.
Yeah, Liam's a vocals and tambourine.
Okay.
Oh, the guy with the tambourine was the asshole.
Yeah.
I guarantee you. That's always a truism.
Yeah. the other musicians are going, we don't need that.
It's not even, you can barely hear it. I mean, this mic isn't really even picking that up.
Stevie Nicks would always have those little bells next to the thing.
Great
you're
job.
in an arena, honey. You're playing little tiny bells. You have a drummer who's just so fucking loud. Dude, we're going to let you go. You need to get some sleep, but thank you so much.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
so much
for
having
coming
me.
by, man.
Yeah, well, I love the show, and this was good therapy today.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm wandering. I feel like the end of Scorsese's After Hours.
Right. Oh, God.
That's how I feel right now. Yeah.
Where he's just walking in the bank.
Yeah.
Just dusting himself off.
I am at the very end.
I love that fucking movie. Well, whenever you need a place to not be Trump over the next 4 years, you can always come here and be yourself.
Thank you.
You know?
Oh, that was good. I'll write you and set up the next therapy session.
Anthony Tamanek's been in studio. Trump versus Bernie live from Brooklyn. That's available on iTunes and on Twitter. It's at Tony Tamanek.
We'll be right back. Bennington. It's the Bennington Show. Chris Stanley was part of the celebration. You actually got on Fox News last night, Chris.
Oh, I closed the segment of their segment about the deplorables who were shedding tears and rejoicing in the streets of NYC.
Go ahead, play yourself.
Here I am.
About this campaign. Are you surprised at all? Are you shocked? Or did you know that he was going to win?
This is what should have happened. This is what we deserve. This is what America deserves. That chanting. It went out on me.
He's adorable. You got a little sparkle in your eye. Good news for you too, Chris.
I like news.
And Gail, I know that you guys have been feeling bad. The iBang has sent this over. We're doing such a bang-up job.
Oh, good.
This is those giant, thick Reese's cups.
Oh, shit!
So, here's one the size of a small pie for you, Chris.
Oh, this is awesome.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if you could eat it all. I took a bite of it.
Nice.
Go ahead and just try to take a bite. It's more than you can handle. One bite is like eating. Oh, my God. He just took a bite that was like 3 peanut butter cups.
Oh, it's good. That's good.
Vito, you still losing weight there? You still in the...
I can always use a cheat day.
Oh, my God.
No. Every day can't be a cheat day.
You gotta have non-cheat days, bro.
The peanut butter ratio is amazing, though.
They pulled it off. They have pulled it off.
I thought they couldn't do it, but they did it. This is an upset, much like the Trump win. Nobody expected this to be delicious.
I'm going to take this to a movie. We're just sitting there eating it during a movie.
Oh, man, that's good.
Oh, it feels good to eat your feelings. Delicious.
There's gotta be a jar of peanut butter in here.
Oh, easily a full jar.
Are you like eat your feelings kind of eater? Like when you're feeling low, are you the type of person who you're like the way you manifest it is eating? Do you sleep? Do you like a lot of people?
Yes. I may drink my feelings, I snort my feelings, I smoke my feelings. I'm not crazy about feelings.
I love this move, which I think a lot of people experienced watching the coverage, drinking wine. Let's go ahead and stick that cork back in and move directly to whiskey. That's feel like wine doesn't feel right. Whiskey. And then immediately as you're drinking going, now what's this thing when people mix pills with this? Where do I get some of those? Because
Xanax, right? Isn't that the name?
Is that what I should be doing?
Okay.
Because just one drug doesn't feel right now. I need multiple.
I just want to point this out, and the iBang has 3 pieces. Number one, Chris's phenomenal art piece that he did last night as Trump Cuck, his new character that
Trump
he plays.
Cuck. Love him.
And you want to get the shirt and be standing in fucking Times Square. Get your picture taken with Trump Cuck.
Let's do it.
But the silence of Times Square is unbelievable. And of course, the comedians tweeting stuff out. So again, everybody around the country and in Canada has no idea what a bubble that we live in. Where we know Nick DiPaolo and Anthony Cumia, and that's about it.
Sure.
For funny people who wanted Trump to win this thing.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a similar feeling, perhaps, that was felt when Obama was elected, and people felt crazy, perhaps, on the other end, and watched people in New York City celebrating in the streets, and they thought, but just like the guy said earlier, but everyone I work with said they're voting for Trump. And everyone in my church, those numbers still haven't changed. And, it feels like a landslide because it was so shocking. But if you look at the numbers, it still is 50% of America is really unhappy. And once again, I'm not sure the exact where we finally landed on the,
electoral count?
Yeah, no. I know where we landed on that, but who, as far as the popular vote goes, I don't know exactly where it landed, but I know, as of last night, they were like, this is maybe the 5th president we've been in a situation where they won the popular vote, but because of the Electoral College. So it's again just like Bush and Gore. It's 50% of America is really unhappy, and 50% of America is like, oh, of course this feels right.
But also, you have to remember, let's say when the gay marriage thing passed and everybody was dancing in the streets of cities. People around the country who see that as, sin or whatever, they had to feel like they were behind enemy lines.
Of course.
They're like, not only are they doing this, but they're acting like it's a good thing. Most of us stay somewhere fucking baffled.
Yeah.
By the other people.
And people were tweeting me saying, oh, don't you see now that you're not a majority, that your gay agenda is not a majority? No, I didn't think that. You know what I mean? I definitely did not think. I've never felt like a part of a majority at any point.
Right.
You know what I mean? I've never thought my interests. I mean, someone even's like, oh, see, like, you think everyone likes drag culture. At no point would I ever imagine that that's what the majority is. And that's part of, what makes people the way they are. It's like part of it is enjoying that you get to look across the street and go, what the fuck? I mean, what they're into is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely wasn't ignorant to the fact that everybody thinks like people like me, or I don't think that way.
Here's some Swedish fish.
Oh my God, bless you.
Oh my God, I love candy.
Here's some Altoids. What Altoids? I don't think the Altoids were supposed to be here. And 2 really nice pens. I better return those
great.
as well. I might as well return the nice pens and Altoids. I don't think they were meant to be part of this. Chris, did you finish it?
I'm
Are
getting
you
there.
still going?
I'm finishing this thing. I feel like if I don't, I'll feel bad about myself.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to finish something in your life, and it's going to be that.
Yeah, definitely.
You're going to get something done.
Very close.
Kelsey likes chocolate.
I'm not crazy about
the fish.
Yeah.
Well, after
Too
that,
big.
and a little stickier than I remember.
They're ridiculously sticky. Last time I ate a Swedish fish, I had to peel it off my teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I felt really horrible about
That's
it.
the world I'm
I
living
need
in.
an X-Acto knife.
That's why I like a Starburst better. It goes down easier.
Oh my God, it says the same thing.
No way.
I'm going to get you a giant Starburst, too.
Oh, shit. Make sure it's a pink one.
Yeah, the size of a pizza box. Oddly, I agree with you on the pink one. I prefer them even to the red.
Oh, by far, pink is the best one.
It's the shit.
Wait, there's also socks and underwear in this bag. I don't think we were supposed to get all this.
What were you planning on?
Here, back to this delightful.
Thanks.
I think if I eat any more chocolate and peanut butter, I'll die. Look who it is. It's Hard Rock Johnny.
Bennington.
From Central.
Yes. It's crazy.
Well, you're an old New Jersey General fan, so this is a really big day for you.
Yep. Herschel Walker's going to be, I think, part of the cabinet.
Yeah.
He's part of that team. The craziest thing was the video that they posted last night of the sound of of Trump America. It literally, you're watching a video and it looked like one of those freaking mannequin videos because it was like silent and nobody was moving. Everyone was like, oh fuck, it's happening.
Also, the traffic is stopped, so all you can see is just like the lights of Times Square moving, but all the cars and the people are still and it's silent. It's so weird.
It was just the craziest night I can think of.
11-9.
11-9.
You guys should stay on the air for a couple of days.
Good news for Chris Christie, though.
Oh, my God. He's going to be doing well for himself.
I don't know. Where do you think he lands in this whole thing? I mean, they kind of tucked him away in the last month since the Bridgegate stuff started getting deeper.
Well, he's been the guy doing the transition work.
He's transitioning?
He's doing that instead of running New Jersey.
Yes.
God of the state.
He's making binders for fucking Trump.
Get rid of him.
No way. He's captain.
Yeah. No. New Jersey will get rid of him. He'll have to resign as governor and.
It's always a temporary job to be governor of New Jersey. You always get offered something with the federal government. All of them do. They all go, hey, I enjoyed being your governor for the last 17 months, but I just got offered a really good job from the federal government. I never see that happening with any other governors.
It's a Jersey thing. It was, but what an interesting 4 years we're going to see here.
It's going to be phenomenal. Yeah, it's going to be great.
He's going to make us great again.
I'll tell you one thing. He says he's going to shut down all the Hard Rocks. That surprised me. He said that
No. He's friends of the Hard Rock.
He goes, I've had enough nostalgia, Dad Rock. I'm done with it.
I don't like famous pants. They're going away.
What is the newest pair of pants you have? Like, would you put up a Demi Lovato? Would that be too new?
Sure.
Oh, you would?
We have a Lady Gaga pantsuit.
Mm-hmm. You ever smell the crotch of any of the female pants?
No, I try not to.
You pick up a whiff?
They're a little sweaty.
Yeah. But you like that. Sure. Johnny, we're doing our party with you, and I mean, it's coming together like gangbusters.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I'm hoping it's a good one.
Yeah, it's just us and you, buddy, so.
All right.
We're going to make it work.
We can make that happen. I think I might have some prizes. I think I got prizes. Are we going to do any games? Because I think I have some nice prizes for the audience.
Oh, yeah. We'll do a 50-50.
T-shirt gun? You got a T-shirt gun back there?
It's a famous pants gun. We're going to shoot famous pants into
Please
the air.
stop loading the famous pants into that gun.
Just
rhinestones flying everywhere.
Yeah.
That fuddy-duddy go-go is going to try to shut that shit down, but I'm not going to let him.
I don't know. You're suddenly getting strong. But
nah. He's not allowed to the party, remember?
I don't know.
His wife can come, that's it.
I don't know, Johnny.
But,
Your boss.
I think we got...
Yeah.
He's not my boss. He's not even work for our company.
You got cuck, bro.
You're a go-go cuck.
Just like I'm a Trump cuck, you're a go-go cuck.
How did they pick you to be on TV? That's terrible.
Why is it terrible? I look great.
I don't know who looks worse. You or the guy before you.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that sly smile was intoxicating.
That was actually... And where was Vito? Sleeping with Barron?
Vito, that was supposed to be his gig. He did nothing last night, right?
I berated him the entire night, calling him fat and a cuck.
Chris kept calling me fat, cuck. Also, I was the one in all Trump gear. I had a Trump flag. I kept getting cut out of every news shot.
You gotta want it, kid.
I was waving my flag everywhere. They just didn't like me. And Chris kept calling me fat.
That's not nice.
Look, they went to the guy. They knew who the Trump cuck was. They fucking went straight to me. And they ended their piece on me, by the way.
Chris, don't be angry about it. Be happy about it.
I am happy about it.
But you're making it seem like a bad thing, and it's a good thing.
I got some
You're going to win like America's going to win.
I got some great buttons. Re-elect Trump 2020.
You're going to win so much, you're going to get sick of it after a while. You're going to tell me to stop winning. But that's not true.
Gentle Trump.
I'm gentle Trump. How's everyone doing? You happy about last night? I won everything. Didn't I tell you? PA. It's exciting, though. It's an exciting time for us Trump backers.
It's something.
You know, I am part of the right wing. Look, if this shit is happening, I can pass. I can definitely pass. Vito, you're a little too Italian for this. You know, you're going to get Mussolini drug around by the fucking back of a goddamn Jeep somewhere. Well, 2 Jeeps. Not going to lie to you.
Will I be okay?
Oh, yeah. You got white blood.
Oh, okay.
Chris will pass, except for the, underscore sex stuff that he's into.
That stuff happens, and I'm vetted by Fox News, so I'm okay.
Well, that's actually not a bad thing to have. Although, I wonder if Fox News is going to stay on the forefront. Hannity could swing off and do that Breitbart News Network they were talking about.
We'll be all over that thing.
Yeah.
I guess there's no Trump News Network, at least for not the next 4 to 8 years.
I kind of wondered that. I wondered if he was backstage just like, I was supposed to start a news network.
Look, it'll work for Breitbart, and that guy was there on stage in lime green pants. He was a fucking lunatic. Who even knows how to find him? But would you even say, look, I'm going to the big election night party? These lime green pants are okay, aren't they?
They look good.
You know how fucking rich you got to be to go to a big party and get away with lime green pants?
Yeah. You got to have real confidence.
You got to have real bucks. Vito wasn't at Fox with you, though, right? During the last one?
During the last one, no. Earlier tonight he was. He was with me at the Hilton, and in front of Trump Tower, the cops were really like, no one congregate here. Take a picture, get out.
We brought this up. It was very odd to see this time that you expected to see people running in the streets. There was like 500 of you instead of 150,000. I mean, 5 million showed up for the fucking Cubs. This is a bigger win than the Cubs. But not only that, in New York City, in his own neighborhood, Trump was booed when he was voting. Harrison Greenbaum, the comedian, was at the thing. It's up on the iBang. He videoed that in his own neighborhood, Trump isn't over. He does win the country, though. Let's just get people at the regular polling place.
Not stop. This.
Not psyched.
There's one blue.
Who are you worried about today? Let's say each person that you're worried about who's going to take it hard. For you, Chris? Or should I do it first? Because I'm just going to give it to you.
Okay.
I'm worried about Kate Hudson. I know. She was really happy about this. I see some of her snaps. I don't know how she's going to do with this.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she's going to keep snapping.
I'm worried about Mary Steenburgen.
Oh,
Just did the show.
I was seriously thinking about her last night.
I push her out of my mind every time I think of her.
Oh,
Who you
my
got?
God. Barry Crimmins.
Barry predicted this.
I know.
Never forget that. Barry said he's going to cover the Rust Belt. I drive through there all the time. I know those people. Barry told us from Jump Street that Trump was going to win this. Tweet it out, everybody. Barry, you're a fucking modern day Nostradamus. How do I get your new special? Do I go over to louisck.com? Is that how I get it?
louisck.net.
.net?
.net.
Yep, that's
.org?
exactly how you do it.
Yeah.
What do I do? Like, I put in something and I get the special?
Yeah.
Right on the front page.
Vito, who are you thinking today?
Susan Sarandon was already so close to the edge.
That's crazy talk. She was anti-Hillary Clinton.
But wasn't she even... She was anti-everybody.
You're not even paying attention. She is ecstatic today as anyone. As Bernie's wife.
I could tell you, hands down, with video proof, look up Miley Cyrus. Look up her Instagram and watch her breaking down on
I
camera.
want to see this.
She absolutely went nuts.
I can only hope she masturbates her way out of it. You know what I mean? Have you found it, Chris?
I have all I have is a still. Is there a video?
No, there's a video. Go to let's see.
Go to gunkyfunk.com, Chris. See if they have it. Gunkyfunk.
Gunkyfunk.com.
Put on your gunky funk. It's gunkyfunk.com. Yeah, Susan Sarandon made the fucking thing. I don't vote with my vagina. And I'm like, well, then why don't you vote for other people's vaginas? You fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's Miley.
Okay. So probably like most people that are going to see, well, maybe not, because given the result, maybe I really am different, and maybe a lot of people that I'm surrounded by think with open minds and open hearts like I do. And I do want to say that I've been very vocal for my support for everyone besides Donald Trump. Heavily supported Bernie, heavily supported Hillary. And I still think that in her lifetime she deserves to be the first female president. And that's what makes me so sad. Is that I just wish that she had that opportunity, because she's fought for so long. And because I believe her when she says that she loves this country. This is all she's ever done. She's given her life to make it better. But like Donald Trump so ironically played after his speech, it said you can't always get what you want. And happy hippies, we adjust and we accept everyone who they are.
Jesus Christ, I thought this was a snap. Let me just say this.
I thought she was only going to get 20
Let me
seconds.
just say this to Miley, because I can help her a little bit. Not only, and by the way, I don't know how you laugh at that. It's a girl who cares, Johnny. It's a girl who cares.
I just said she was having a rough time.
You know what? But I heard you giggling, and this was like if you or I dropped a plate of pasta. We're going to take it more fucking serious than most people.
And I wouldn't laugh at you guys for that.
Never.
Now, let me tell something to Miley Cyrus. I'd like to call her Mile right now, if that's not a problem. Mile, not only will Hillary not be the first female president, but now in your lifetime, you will not see a female president. It won't happen. The people have spoken, and they don't want a woman president. So go underground, Miley. You're on your way doing it. Ecstasy makes people feel better. Or Molly.
Papa Molly.
Papa Molly. That might work for you. Live on the edge in the darkness. You know what I'm saying? Have a couple of different kinds of identifications depending on where you are in the city.
Burner phones.
Yeah, constant burner phones. Use the phone and chuck it away from you as far as you can.
One
you know what I do?
One phone.
I always throw it in the subway. I just throw it in the fucking subway. If they're following me, they're fucking following the subway all around town.
You like that?
But, yeah. And when she said, I want people to be like me and my friends, I think, no. People aren't like you and your friends. And you are a little, just call your dad, because Achy Breaky misses you too.
Yeah. How'd he vote, by the way?
Oh, yeah. We did it, boy! We did it.
I love that this happens, just before as the holiday season begins and families are forced to reunite around the table.
All right. There's a Amy Schumer thing that she went in deep, of course. Let me see if we can find it. All right, here's what she says. First of all, the interview where I said I would move was in London, and I said it in jest. Not that anyone needs more than a headline to count something as official news. So she's not moving.
Okay.
Everyone is saying that her pack your bags is just as disgusting, or as disgusting as anyone who voted for this racist, homophobic, openly disrespected woman abuser. Okay, she's staying with it. Like the rest of us, I'm grieving today. My heart is in a million pieces. My heart breaks for my niece and my friends who are pregnant, bringing children into this world right now. And like everyone else, I'm horrified that people believe the bumper sticker slogan filled with hate he spewed. People who voted for him, you are weak. You're just not misinformed. You didn't even attempt misinformation. And then she writes, and this is surprising, no one go to the Hard Rocks, particularly the one in Times Square. They're behind this, and they have Trump down there all the time.
What the hell, Amy?
But you do have Trump. You've had
her.
Trump in there many times, Johnny.
Love him.
I don't know if he's ever been here, to be honest with you.
I heard that he was.
I don't think he has.
Night of the Long Knives is coming, Johnny. Johnny, are you going to be happy when the wall gets built?
Which wall?
Come on,
the Mexican
dude.
wall or the Canadian wall?
The Mexican wall. With the Canadians, but they're fucking fine. They're as happy as we are. They're going crazy right now.
For now.
And you know what? We charge them if they play fucking handball against that wall. Because Mexicans are always playing handball wherever you go.
They love it.
Yeah, but get a paddle. Why are you smacking everything with your fucking hand? Have you ever played? It fucking hurts. Yeah. Like you're at the, this is fun. Then you get home and you're like, I got all these little lumps in my palm. I don't think my palm was supposed to be smacking stuff. Marcus Huck told me that I've helped him deal with this today. Our intern, Marcus Huck. He let everybody down by backing out of the Seinfeld thing that we were going to do against Travis. But the important thing is this, folks. We're going to beat China. Everybody beats us these days, right?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Now we're going to beat them. It's going to be so beautiful. We're going to win so much. You're going to be sick of winning.
I guess that does sound good, I guess.
It is. These are new times. Let's let it roll out. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. We don't have any other choice. So
I'm going to tell you something, and I don't mean this to sound bad. I don't care if any Muslims get in this country. I'm fine. I'm not a Muslim. Catholic. I got to look out for myself now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't look out for everybody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Watch out for number one.
Louis J. Gomez gets sent back to Mexico. That's on him.
The illegal Mexican rattlesnake?
Yeah. There's no such thing as a legal rattlesnake as far as I'm concerned. Except for one. Stone Cold. And we just got to Stone Cold Stunner last night.
Oh, yeah. We did.
Lest we forget that Stone Cold actually stunned Donald Trump at WrestleMania, maybe it was?
You nerds have so much information. It's always fun. And I'll tell you something else. And no offense here, but I told Fez, all right, you lose your health care and you never can get married? Fuck you. You're on your own. Everybody take off and run on their own, okay? We can't stay together in a pack. Head for fucking hills the best you can. I'm just going to fucking brush off my shoulders and go walking in and act like I'm part of the celebration.
Yeah.
That's me. I think I can pass. I know I can pass.
I just can't wait for all these these new babies, because no more abortions. This will be great. We'll fill it up.
I'll tell you
all
what.
new blood.
I might even adopt a baby now when my new taxes are going to be low.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to adopt a little baby, not a Mexican, because I don't want it to be taken away.
Don't do that.
They're going to be a little bit sickly, though, because of health care, but
I don't care.
they're going
I
to
don't
be
care
a little...
about anything. Is that all there is, my friend? See, I think you're being a little sarcastic, Gail. I think you took this a little hard. You took it a little hard.
Look, I took it hard, but I also know that this is the way it goes. Like I go back and forth being upset and accepting it and upset again and accepting it. But this is the way that it plays. And I think, you know, at this point, who knows? Like, what happens next, we can't really predict.
You're in your liberal bubble, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm in a nice little, as somebody wrote to me, I believe, liberal snow castle, which sounds nice and cool. But I don't know.
I think he
really
meant to say snow globe, which would have been better.
Yeah,
That
but he said a castle, I believe, made of
he's not
snow.
making sense. Dude, here's the thing instead. Say liberal snow globe, because that does make more sense. But that is true. I mean, we don't, it's not going to change anybody's life.
I won't deny that, you know, I went to bat for women on this show. I went to bat for millennials on this show.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I was proven wrong. Like, that's what happens when you get beat.
I told you Bernie was going to cost the Democrats. He wasn't a Democrat, and he was involved in that party. And I'll tell you this, at the same time, Trump wasn't a Republican. He's now taken over the Republican Party.
Yeah.
He's the head of the Republican Party. Paul Ryan, get the fuck out of town. You fucked up. You weren't with me, Rudy, Christie, a couple other people. I think Jimmy Woods is part of our crew.
Yeah, you're in a crew with him. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, that this is the way it swung. There is no reason to not think that this was going to happen. It's just, it was a shock. But here's another thing too, is that as far as like millennials, and when I say that, I'm talking about people who are younger than I am, you know, like people who, you know, maybe they didn't first-time voters, youngsters, like, I guess that they did not know, about, you know, the way the third party affected the vote with Bush, and perhaps you have to relearn that stuff. I think that there is a definition, a change between young people who were not in adulthood at that time. Maybe they were very little, and they did not experience that. But it's one of those catch-22s. I mean, there are people
I didn't read it. Is it good?
It's a wonderful novel.
Is it good?
It's very good.
I never thought I would like it.
That people on the far left and the far right tend to, you know, have big ideas and dreams about not having a two-party system. But the second you try to make any waves with that, you screw over the side that you're closest to.
Well, they don't, you know, everybody can do whatever they want to do with their vote. Now we're in the Trump years. I certainly do. And I think everyone should wish him the best. And I would love to see, my number one thing, even more than the security stuff, I would love to see the infrastructure of this country get fixed. I would love to see some beautiful bridges, beautiful airports.
Yeah, I know
train
he's pretty
stations.
Passionate about the crappy airports, and we don't know his plan with it. We just know that that's his passion. You know what I mean? He's
a builder.
Yeah, he was not put to the test by anyone to question the way he was going to do these things, but we know what he wants to do, and I guess we'll have to find out, because we definitely don't know. He was not forced to answer those kind of questions.
I know you're blaming the media now, but let me tell you something. I'm in the media, and we do a fucking damn good job with everything we do. And I'll tell you why. I mean, I'm in the high part. I'm one of the more overworked part of the people in the media. I'm doing 3 hours a day. Most people do anywhere from a half an hour to an hour. I'd love to get that fucking 7 o'clock news job where you come in for a fucking half hour. I guess it's 6 o'clock. I was thinking of, I'm usually out of my butt, but I usually come in and do what I call a live read for fucking a half an hour and get out of there. And there's good money in that. Good fucking Bob Seifert money. Second, the media has done everything in their power that they could. And then second, I do want to see better airports. Yeah. I do want to see better train stations. I do want to see our heroes taken care of. You know? I want to get rid of ISIS, and it's going to happen quick.
Great. How fast do you think? I know it's a big, and I'm not being funny. How fast is he going to get rid of ISIS? Because I know that's a big
March
thing.
20th.
March 20th. There'll be no more ISIS.
I think you're being sarcastic.
No, I think that's really ballsy, particularly because it's not a country. It's an idea.
You're being sarcastic with me.
No, I think
I understand it.
I don't work in sarcasm.
Can I tell you, I was young once, and I used to be sarcastic with my dad.
Yeah. What happened?
I still am. I'm still sarcastic with him. But he enjoys it too. He gets a big kick out of it. I'm going to call him later and say congratulations on Trump. And I'm definitely at one point going to slip in, grab him by the pussy.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like to annoy myself.
Because
I get that you're upset today.
Right. No, but you know what? That's what we're going to accept.
Give me a little bit of the Reese cup. Did you finish all Reese cup by yourself?
Holy shit.
I just looked at
myself.
Gail and I have nibbled on ours, but I looked at yours. You just ate 17,000 calories.
Jesus Christ.
That's a good kind of calories, though,
And
right?
the speed in which you did it.
Oh, yeah, they're good calories.
It's the kind of calories you want.
Sugar.
Yeah, fat and sugar, it'll give you all the energy you need.
Yeah, but there's protein.
It's going to insulate your body.
Good.
You're going to be nice and
I
toasty.
got all those protein up in me. I'm feeling great.
It's the perfect treat while you're being grabbed by the pussy. It's one thing to be grabbed by the pussy, but did we know that we were going to be fisted in the ass while it happened?
I get it. You're upset. That should have a name, by the way. Because the bowling ball used to have something. I mean,
Right, like the two in the pink, one in the stink. That's not enough.
Yeah, but
this is being
a fist.
grabbed and fisted in the ass at the same time.
And look who's excited about that.
Big surprise.
Jenny.
He loves it.
That's his thing. You talk cock, you gotta go straight to Johnny for it. Chris, can you have your Trump cuck shirts by the time we get there? And can your picture be on the Trump cuck shirt?
I have no problem with that. I'll be fucking hashtag Trump cuck.
And we're like 2 little thumbs up.
Yeah.
Got my fucking Trump cuck head.
I will say this, Gail. You took it better than Miley, and you took it better than Amy Schumer.
Yeah, probably. I
Those
feel
took it really rough.
I think I was a little bit more real, or not realistic, but I just know this is the way it goes.
Things happen.
This is what fucking happens. This is something that happens.
That's like frogs falling down from space.
Just like that.
I'll tell you who I feel good for is the blacks, because what did they have to lose? I mean, seriously, what do they have to lose? They're shooting the shit out of each other.
Oh, my God.
Let's look it up.
So he's going to fix the inner city, right?
Yeah.
That's good.
He's got that down.
Good.
International relations are going to be fine. Economy, I believe, is going to be fixed.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
But seriously, if he's right, and he could be.
Fixes everything? Holy shit.
We're going to be... I just got a thing from Gail 7 hours ago that says we're in the studio. This is how good my fucking phone is working.
So glad that you got that.
Well, I'm lighting a bag on fire and then walking through the lobby with it. I clipped my cigar.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you right now, though. And I have a lot of friends that are black and a lot of Hispanic friends. And I have a lot of gay friends, as you know.
What?
I'd just like to say to all of them right now, do not call me. I will contact you when the time is right. Don't fucking out me. Thank you. That's all I need to say.
Just listen.
Everybody is on their fucking own right now, okay?
Oh, yeah.
You take off. We all meet up later. And don't go fucking parking your cars out front either, okay? Looks like a goddamn used car lot out there. I'm not fucking having a gangster parade pulling into my fucking driveway 3 o'clock in the morning. Look, here's the thing. Everything's going to be all right. Rockabye. Remember that. It's going to be all right. Trump, I mean, look what he did for Atlantic City. He's going to do that for the country. He made a lot of money. Why do you laugh like that? I was in Atlantic City in its heyday. It was fucking fantastic.
How's it doing now, though?
I don't know. I haven't been down there in a while. I'm doing too well to take day trips. Who's going to sing at the inaugural? Kid Rock?
Yeah, I mean...
That would make the most sense. Nugent, I don't think Nugent will...
Stranglehold. Everybody would love to hear Stranglehold. Okay. That fucking song's amazing. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Who else will show up and do a song? That might be the gist of it. couple of those country assholes, right?
Oh, yeah, he'll get country people. Yeah, he'll get. I think he'll get a bunch of them. It'll basically be a country Woodstock.
Not Austin, but Nashville.
Yeah. Now, not a lot of alt country people will be there. I don't think.
I think it would be amazing if we could get the Talking Heads back.
if he pulls that off.
Finally, what did it?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Talking Heads.
What?
You know what? If that happens, I'll be like, you know what? I should have. He did say he'd make America great again.
Oh, and Baron,
I was wrong.
Baron's playing keyboards for him.
Oh, poor Baron.
He was just tired. He was really getting trashed, that kid.
Looked like little Vito. Like a baby Vito in a chair.
Vito was already asleep by the same time, just like that kid. It's going to be fine.
What the fuck?
Oh my God, your porn
Chris?
just turned on.
Yeah.
That wasn't pornography. That was an ad?
I just heard one man moaning into another man's asshole.
It's not what I'm watching.
Into it.
Oh, God.
Just down the tunnel.
Gaping tunnel. You know, teach his own. That's what I always say.
But it's your own, is what we're saying.
Mine is yours.
It's good to laugh.
Hey, Friday is going to be an Unmasked that everybody's going to love.
It's Bert Kreischer Unmasked. That's happening at 2 p.m. here on Raw Dog. And then his special premieres on Showtime. Bert Kreischer, The Machine.
You know, Bert and I were talking about Florida Man. And both of us saying we do know Florida Man. Mm-hmm. We know people who fit the description of Florida Man. And this was a victory for Florida Man.
Oh, yeah.
Florida Man feels great.
You did it. You did it, Florida Man.
This was definitely a Florida Man election.
Well, Johnny, I want you, when we go over for the big Thanksgiving, please put my turkey in to go. I'm going to be traveling at night for a while. A lot of people coming in here like we're selling the place. It's making me a little nervous. There's a lot of people coming by and you're just fucking measuring the furniture.
Oh my God, that baby's so cute, though. It was a really cute baby.
You're going to grow up in a Trump world, baby.
That's right. That's a baby who doesn't know what it's like to have a black president. I call them special babies.
Lovely special babies.
Welcome to Earth, special baby.
Hey, special baby. The 8 years of darkness has passed. This is Game of Thrones that we're living right now.
It is. Well, or it's like when the Death Eaters came out of hiding in Harry Potter or something.
Yeah.
It's like that.
I didn't see that. Is that good?
I don't think you'll like it.
You know what I like?
I don't think it's your cup of tea.
Speaking of cup of tea, thank you, Marcus Hook. You fucking went and got me cups of tea, even though I didn't ask for it 7 times.
It's beautiful.
I haven't coughed in 5 minutes. TB is fucking hard to beat, though, without medicine.
Is that contagious?
Very.
Oh, yeah.
Very contagious. It kills minors.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it wipes out fucking full, I was going to say caves of miners, but that's not what it is. Once you crawl down there, it's something else.
A pit?
It's not a pit.
It seems like it's a pit.
Mine shaft of miners.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Shaft of miners?
A mine shaft, yeah. I think you go into a mine shaft. The only fucking...
Just seems redundant.
The only shaft that fucking Chris knows has the fucking head at one end and balls at the other. That's the shaft he pays attention to.
Trump cuck.
Trump cuck. Hashtag Trump cuck.
What the fuck?
That's got to be our Christmas shirt, Trump cut, with a big fucking picture of your face and an anonymous cock going into your mouth.
The cock.
You got to finish. You got to finish.
Well, the anonymous cock will have a Guy Fawkes mask on the head.
Yeah, it will. Hey, isn't it time a lot of people got fired though who picked this election wrong?
Hell yes, because Nate Silver should just keep his fucking mouth shut. After he started guessing,
he was taking credit today.
For what?
Yeah, he's
saying 29% when other people said 5%.
He can't bet football. He doesn't know shit about sports with his fucking bullshit statistics. And now this proves he's a fucking hack. Fuck him. They should shut down 538.com. All their statistics mean nothing.
So you're saying I'm giving him another chance?
No. Nate Silver just fucking hide in the goddamn mine shaft for all I care.
Again with the mine shaft? I mean, guys. I mean, what is it? Some kind of a mine shaft we're living in?
Don't let the mine shaft thing fucking take up too.
I just imagine, like, weeks from now. 3 weeks into the mine shaft.
Chris is going to leave here. Large shake, fries, and mine shaft.
Sorry, sir, what did you say?
Mine shaft. Isn't that what you call that little burger that's on a little burger patty on a bun? Isn't that a mine shaft?
If you get a mine shaft.
Speaking of which, can I find a mine shaft here? I got to take a quick leak.
Oh my God.
That's how quick a new word sticks into his fucking mullet head. Dude, let me just say this. Congratulations on last night. You were fucking hilarious.
Thank you very much.
You did
You're
it.
so lucky you got nowhere to go and people to spend the night with. I admire you for that.
Well, I was spending time with my fucking Trump cucks. I was with all those people. They were so nice.
Down in the mine
By
shaft.
the way, I just have to ask, do they like being called Trump cucks?
Yeah, they love it.
I like it. I'm a Trump cuck now, too.
Every time a chant started, I just threw a cuck out there. Like,
Look.
cuck her up. Cuck her up. Or drain the cuck. Or cuck the swamp.
I don't know which is better.
See, now, isn't that better than getting mad and having your feelings hurt? Just get out and join in and just make and tweak it to be a little weird.
Look, here's the thing. I have no choice but to be a Trump cuck. We're all gonna be cucked by him. This is the world we're living in. We're deep into the mine shaft now. Let me tell you.
Somebody who's calling as Donald Trump, but I don't know if it's really Donald Trump. We'll check. Donald Trump?
Mr. Bennington, how are you doing? Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to say, first order of business as president, after I lock that hooah up, I'm going to execute all the pedophiles. So I'm sorry to say, but Chris Stanley has got to go. He is a disgrace. He's a disgrace to your radio show and just the general public. So he needs to be put away.
Who is this really?
It's Dickie Jr., Dogsy.
Hey, Dogsy.
What's up, Dogsy? Enjoying the new Trump cuck land? Oh, he's gone.
Oh.
He doesn't hang around long. He has short impressions.
Yeah, he's in and out.
He's done. Cucky. It feels so cucky in here.
We got anything else to plug? Go over on the iBang and send this to your friends. I love it. It's the Comedians React election night. It's comedy turns into tragedy. It's phenomenal. And then there's Chris Stanley as the Trump cuck #1. That is fucking hilarious.
I'm right there.
As well as the Sounds of Silence in Times Square. When I saw this video last night, I couldn't believe it because it's such a loud, annoying place. And, Johnny works right there. Johnny, have you ever seen Times Square as quiet as it was last night?
Not with that many people. It was crazy. There was more people there than on New Year's Eve, it looked like.
Well, they all went there to celebrate, and all they got was the Sounds of Silence. Tomorrow, remind me to ask you guys to tell the story of when you got pulled over.
Yes.
Going to the gig the other night. It's a very funny story. In 2 days, you guys haven't brought it up yet. I want it still fresh in your mind.
Yeah.
Because that's
I
the
will.
new America.
That's the new America. And I was actually thinking of it, and I was like, it was a sign, It was like,
yeah.
We should have got the vibes from that.
It came out of nowhere,
The
too.
winds of change were blowing.
Chris, do we have time to meet after the show today?
Nope. We can't.
Can I just get a quick meeting with you about the Thanksgiving show?
No. I'm working on the Thanksgiving show. No
Johnny,
time for a meeting.
I want this Thanksgiving show to go well, but keep listening to the song Fly By Night over and over because it sounds like that's what we're doing.
Okay.
All right? It's lights off flying into this gig. It's going to be fantastic, though. It's going to be the biggest show that's ever taken place.
That'd be great.
Oh, my God, Donald Trump's there.
I don't need Bon Jovi there. I don't need Bruce Springsteen there. Oh, Bruce Springsteen is a little heartbroken.
Aww.
He's a Trump cuck.
I just thought about Obama's daughters. Oh, my God. I didn't even think of that.
Sasha, Malia.
I don't know their names. Is that it?
Yeah.
Sasha Malia?
Sash dog, yeah.
No one calls her Sasha.
That's fucking racist.
Why is that racist?
Or
Just
sexist.
might be. I don't know.
I'm not sure which
Could
is.
be.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's racist anymore.
There is no racism. We can call people whatever we want.
Now we're really we're in a post-racism just because,
I want all the pickaninnies to know that they'll be looked out for. I'm there for them. That's a word we used to use when I was younger. Everybody, I'm going to clean up the inner cities. Everything's going to be great.
Great.
But you got to be willing to say, and I said to this people of Cleveland, it's the way you lose. That's an important thing. You want to lose with dignity. I'm trying to die that way with this fucking TB that I have. I'm trying to die with dignity.
Jesus. You got to go to a doctor.
I don't plan on seeing a doctor in this country. I had Obamacare. It was just revoked. It was revoked this morning.
They shot all your doctors.
The only Obamacare. Yeah. It was the night of the long scalpels. Somebody came in. But the only Obamacare you're going to get is if Obama himself cares for you.
But you did say the other day that there is a relief when your guy is not picked, and you can wash your hands clean of it, because we can say, all right, you got it, you took care of it, let's see what happens, and it's a very confident place to go, oh, it's if things had been differently, it would be better. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't, maybe it would be a different kind of bad.
Nobody can say.
You can't say, but now you get to be in this wonderful position where you say, oh, you wanted to run with the ball, go ahead.
I have a shirt that says I didn't vote for them, and I use that about everything that comes up. Senators, commissioners, whatever. Just point at my shirt.
Like that.
I didn't vote for them. I think it's a brand new start for America. It's good news for Mark Cuban. He could be running in another 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a reality show. He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
Shark Tank.
It's a fucking NBA team. Everybody likes that.
I'd rather see him on an NFL team.
That'd be even cool.
Would you rather it be him or Mr. Wonderful be the next president?
Well, Mr. Wonderful's a Canadian, but he likes money. Mr. Wonderful tries to be evil. I saw him crying on the show not too long ago, though.
Really? What was he crying about?
Missed the deal.
No, we didn't miss the deal.
Fucking Barbara. He's just crying.
No one ever picks me. All I wanted was $1 for every knick-knack they sold.
You think it's easy, big Mr. Wonderful?
No, he went back and went through his original story, and he was thinking about his dead dad and stuff like that. He started crying.
Oh.
And he goes, I ended up making it. He goes, no one thought I could. Now look at me. I got all kinds of stuff and money. Fuck, it hurts. Fuck, it hurts to succeed this much. And then the other Canadian guy, what's his name?
I'm not sure.
That reminds me. I got to tell you, this guy's. I don't have enough time, right?
We have a minute.
It's about who Soder's uncle is. I just found out the other night.
Oh.
Yeah. Did you see that blonde girl?
Yeah.
That's his cousin.
Okay, yeah.
And her dad is from the TV show The Circus, Mark Halpern. No, it's not Mark Halpern. It's the other Mark, right?
Yeah. I'll find the name.
But he's he was like a campaign guy for Bush, and now he does TV and stuff. Also was a songwriter with Chris Christopherson. But anyway, this guy is what?
Mark McKinnon.
Mark McKinnon. Mark Halpern is the other guy. Mark McKinnon, but you always see him in the cowboy hat. But he's a pretty interesting guy, very eclectic guy. And then his daughter's just stunning.
She was beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't even think it caught on to Soder that he's got a beautiful cousin, and he's introducing her to these fucking low-life comedians. But I thought that was fascinating, man.
That's really weird, yeah.
And he acted like her dad's on something. You ever hear the circus? Like a circus. And never fucking turn it off. All right, that's it for us. Congratulations to everybody who's excited about the Trump win. And for you Hillary people, I mean, they really did play the Stones song last night. You can't always get what you want. And we'll go out with that today if you want to. But what do you get, Gail, if you try sometimes? You just might find what?
You get what you need.
You get what you what?
You get what you need.
Yeah. I saw her today at the reception. Go and play it. Johnny, I'll see you later, buddy.
Later, Bennington.
See the rest of you in 1974.